Hi everybody, Zach here, and I'm going to be joined in a minute by both Steven and Cire. Do want to give you guys a reminder, if you're watching this, if you're new to the channel, give us a like and subscribe. And if you're really brave, give us turn on alerts. We promise we won't abuse it. We do also want to remind everybody watching at home that we have a schedule. This is our schedule these days. We're doing our usual hobby shows on Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. Cire and I did one last night. Sundays at 10 in the morning. These are Pacific times. We have our Age of Sigmar games. We've got one this upcoming Saturday at 10 in the morning for everybody. And we have our members only game every Monday at 6 p.m. So we hope to see you there. Now, for the time being, we also have these shows every weekday morning at 9 in the morning, where we help you read the internet. And also we provide some people for you to yell at, maybe if you think we're wrong. It's a service, okay? It's a service, and we'd like you to take advantage of it. Now, last thing I want to promote before we jump into the meat of today's episode. First of all, let's say hi to Cire and Steven. There they are. Oh, we picked the perfect time to say hi to Steven. He was trying to...
Oh my god, you betrayed me. You're like, okay, this is how we're going to do this. And then you're just like, no, we're not going to do this. Let's go.
All right. So, yes, if you've heard about the Dark Brettonia army, here's a quick catch-up. So I'm building a Slaves to Darkness army in the style of Old Brettonia, meaning each cavalry unit is going to have some unique heraldry, But this is chaos, so it's going to be chaotic heraldry. So your corn marks, your zinch marks, your whatever special chaos powers you want. And as you can see in the picture, we've got like some ice armor guys, some molten armor guys, whatever you want to see. I need help finishing this army. And I'm not asking you to send me any models or anything, but I want you to send me a little tidbit of lore about your specific army with your paint scheme, and I'll paint it up, add it to our army. You get to see it played on the tabletop.
Yeah. And
the way you...
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
You can participate. If you want to join in on this, you can join the Discord. We have a channel on the Discord specifically for this. And, just leave us a little tidbit of lore, paint scheme, maybe a picture. And if I like it, I'll paint it up, and you can join the Horde.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like it, he'll shame you publicly.
Yeah.
If I don't like it, I'll
no thanks.
tear into you.
No thanks. Yeah, if you're not in our Discord, join our Discord. It's pretty fun in there, I'll be honest. It's a good time to be in the Discord too, because we're not too small where it's awkward, and we're not too big where it's like crazy and just like sterile. One day we'll get there and our Discord won't be cool anymore, but for now it's cool. So join it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, make sure you join now so you can say I was there when it was still cool.
I was there when it was still cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't full of bots.
Yeah. Steven, thanks for joining us. I think you've historically hated playing against my ogres, so I think I'm curious to see some of your takes on this. Right.
I'm fine playing against your ogres as long as I'm Bone Reapers. Then you I'm like, okay, cool. 3 Stonehorns. What's that about? Oh, okay. Nothing.
Okay.
One guy died.
Okay, so Cire, you said right out of the gate you wanted a gut check. Get it, everyone at home? Gut check. That's Cire's. That's a good one. Okay, so I think that actually, when you look at ogres, this is maybe the army that looks like it's been nerfed the most, but I don't know that that's true. Actually, I think there's.
Well, wait, hang on. Is the Stonehorn scroll on here? Because if that's not on here, I don't think you could say that they've been nerfed. That is the backbone of that whole army.
It is on here. It is on here.
Oh,
okay. And you'll see. Okay. So I think there are a few things that I'm like, oh man, that's a big bummer. And then there are a few things I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Of course, we're living in a world where we're all acknowledging that everything seems to be getting a little bit worse, which is a weird time. It's a weird time. Okay.
Yeah, the scales are being balanced, I think, to start the edition. I think though, when we start seeing the books, things will start creeping again. I'm almost positive of that.
I mean, that's It's a good guess, right? It's kind of par for the course. So
yeah, this is like let's temper everything now at the start, and then we'll start ratcheting back up as the books come out. But also like Ogre is like one of my favorite armies. I would play Ogres if you and Brad didn't play Ogres. Like Brad's one like the person I played the most, and he's played Ogres since the get-go. So like Ogres is one of those armies I would do if two of the people I played with regularly didn't already have them.
He plays Gutbusters. This is cool. They talk a lot in the lore. It was nice to see right out of the gate that they're lore-wise very much, hanging into the fact that there are these two different ogre groups. They're different, but they are allies for the most part. They kind of get along. Okay, and then we get into a little bit more lore. There's an old timey. That's some old world art right there.
No, it's not.
No,
that's AOS. Because they're the new. Yeah, they're the new corn guys for.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think this is AOS 1 though. It's pretty. I think it's pretty early.
It's old. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. They talk a little bit about both what are the Gutbusters groups called? Wargluts? Yeah, the Wargluts and the Alfra.
Yeah.
I'm always curious how we pronounce this word. Alfrostun? Alfrostoon? Alfrostuns? This is not a real word. If you look it up, I couldn't find any equivalent. It's totally a word they made up. All right. Battle traits. Here we go. Trampling charge. This is currently when ogres charge. You roll the charge roll. 6s are mortal wounds. Unless you're above a certain size, then it's 5s. Or unless you're monsters, then it's 4s. This is switched to roll a d3 on a 2+, inflict that amount of mortal damage. That's it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big nerf.
Yeah. It's right out of the gate. It is pretty intense.
Yes. That's,
all right. Okay. So the units are gonna have to all right. Okay. They're gonna have to the units are gonna have to get some glow ups to compensate for that.
Yeah. So okay.
I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah. So then, he's not wrong. I think what happens is this is maybe one of the number one ways they chilled the units out. Right. They chilled the army out right here. Okay. Yeah. Next. Ravenous brutes. This is another way they get chilled out. They don't have currently they have that they're either hungry or eating, which if they're hungry they get +2 to their movement, takes them up to movement 8. On foot ogres, on stonehorns, takes them up to crazy movements like 15, stuff like that. Now currently that's gone, and instead they add 2 to their run rolls if they did not use the feast on flesh ability this turn, which we'll get to in a second. So ogres have +2 to run, usually.
All right, pretty cool.
Pretty good.
Good early game.
Good in the early game. Okay, not bad. I'm okay with this one. Next, feast on flesh. Okay, this is new. And it's a once per battle army where all of the ogres in your army that use the fight ability this turn eat things near them and heal. So what happens is pick each friendly ogre unit that is in combat or that used the fight ability this turn. So if they killed whatever they were fighting, or if they're still fighting, and they all heal D3. And if you're near an enemy unit, you do the amount that you rolled in damage on that, as you presumably take bites out of them.
But it's a
D3. So, and it's once per battle, and it's the whole army. So,
wow,
you need to be in combat everywhere to really have this do a little bit of something everywhere. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. If this was I feel like in AOS 3rd edition, if this was a every turn ability, we would all be like, okay, that's cool. Like, I think we'd all just be like, that's fine. That doesn't seem too bad. Like, the fact that that's once per battle.
Yeah.
Seems ridiculous.
Yeah. But how?
Like, what?
We are seeing a lot of these once per battle abilities for different armies where we're like, really? Only once per battle? Right.
Yeah, I guess it is the whole army. I don't know. Yeah, this feels really toned down. This feels super duper tame. Come on, show me a Warscroll that's gonna blow my mind.
Okay,
come on.
That's not.
Something's got to. There's got to be something missing here.
That's not. It's not quite gonna happen. But here's what I think is gonna happen. Hear me out. Right now, in my army that I typically bring, if I want to bring a more competitive army, it's 4 Stonehorns and a pack of 4 Mournfangs. I'm kind of just wondering if we're just going to get more units, if points are going to drop.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case,
Yeah.
then I'm kind of okay with it.
Well, I don't know if points are going to drop. That's the thing.
They might
Like,
not. Yeah.
all signs indicate points are slowly creeping up and armies are going to be smaller, but maybe ogres will be exempt from that because they were already quite a small army. But like, man, that is an army page. Like, I think ogres, maybe, I don't know, this might be up for some debate, but I feel like they had one of the strongest pages of battle traits in 3rd edition. I think all of their army abilities were all absurd and made the army real good. And this feels like an absolute, like, nuke from orbit. Of
It does. It does.
It makes me wonder.
Maybe rightly so. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder: are they changing this to an army with much cheaper units, and you're just bringing a lot more?
Right. Exactly.
Because we're gonna get into the war scrolls. It's like they didn't compensate with the war scrolls.
That's yeah. Because like the other option would be to make them really elite on the table and make them really significant. Like, because like before, like the scrolls weren't great. There was 1 or 2 that were really good, like Stonehorn and the big sword guys. But like other than that, it really relied on the army abilities to prop the army up. And now that that's gone, yeah,
it's interesting, right?
Yeah. Now, so what's this trait though? What's this?
Yeah.
What's the subfaction?
Well, look at the subfaction. Now, James points this out, and I had the same kind of thought as well, James. James points out that, on average, they lost 1 mortal wound per charge. And here's sort of the take on it. If you charge and you roll 1, well, that just sucks. Now you're doing 0 mortal wounds. However, it is fair to say that there are multiple times over my years of playing this army where I've rolled an 8-inch charge and done 0 mortal wounds.
You're a liar. You have never rolled an 8-inch
No,
charge. You rolled 10 plus charges.
I roll out of 10s and 11s. It's true, but
you and Bridger. James hasn't played against you or Bridger with ogres, clearly, because if he'd played either of you, he would understand that the charges are all 10 plus and the mortal wounds are significant.
It does. In some ways, it kind of gives you a little bit more information about what you're going to do. You're probably going to do 1, 2, or 3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, which I think the consistency of it, I think, is nicer.
Yeah.
I think, and I think, I think really, probably the reason they did this is to streamline the whole process, right? Because if you were charging with 3 units, it's like, okay, roll my charge, get my dice, and roll those. You got to roll saves. Whereas this is just like, I charged, here's a roll, done.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where this came from.
There's also the difference between average and potential, though.
Exactly.
You could potentially do a ton of mortal wounds.
Doesn't this also kind of encourage you to take MSU with ogres now? Where it's just like you want like little units of 4-man ogres just running around slamming into people, just doing their D3 mortals every time?
I like this, actually. This sounds like a better army.
Yeah. Okay, Brutal Stock is specifically for Beastclaw Raider monsters. So this is probably the one I'll be taking. And it's just it changes the mortal damage from 1d3 to 1d3 plus 1.
Right, okay.
Wait.
But it's for all your monsters.
It's for all the monsters.
Okay. So a Stonehorn doing like, on average, like what, 3 mortal wounds on a charge is pretty nice.
It's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, and mortal wounds, to be fair, mortal wounds have gone down from what we've seen.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Mortal wounds are being pulled right back.
The Vulture, not mortal wounds anymore. It's a shooting attack.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I hate that stupid bird. The cruise missile bird that's just like, you can't do anything about this. 2 up mortal wound, get lost. It's just like, why? Why is this a thing?
Okay, so that's it. I mean, and that makes sense. That's kind of in line with Boulderhead, which is the faction I take. It's
that's cool. I think that's a solid subfaction, right?
It's solid subfaction.
Just a general bonus to everything that you're gonna do. So
right.
That's nice.
Other battle formations exemplify elements of Ogre society. One capitalizes on hungry magic of the butchers. Another is centered around point blank range gunners, and the fourth is about also a Beastclaw Raider one, having the Shroud of the Everwinter, and we have one kind of like that already as well. So all of these are already kind of present. The Mournfang one, I guess, is essentially gone, as well as Meat Fist, kind of weirdly.
Yeah, it's curious the Everwinter one is the one that's kind of like brings the 2 subfactions together. I'm curious what benefit that brings if it wants you to take both sides of the of
Yeah.
the Ogre Society. Also, maybe this will be the edition where we get a new Butcher model if they're going to do a whole sub-faction around them.
I mean, we
That'd
just
be kind of nice.
my theory, Stephen and Cire, is that ogres will be in the 5th ed box. That's my theory.
Interesting.
You think they're the big bad of 5th edition?
I do.
4th isn't even here, and we're talking 5th edition right
Wow.
I know.
Okay. Look at this. Look at this Nostradamus over here.
It's
just
because
predicting the
it's because
future.
it's because so much of the line needs a refresh. Because they clearly are refreshing what an ogre itself looks like, right?
Dude, Chaos Dwarfs
Nah,
don't exist
Beast
yet.
of Chaos,
Dark Elves
crazy.
don't exist yet. Like, come on, you think ogres are going to be the big bad of 5th edition when there's
Not the-
literally factions out there that need a whole range?
I don't know if they'll be the big bad, but I think they'll be. Jupiter says, or Dan says, shouldn't it be a death army? I guess it could be.
No, I think for the first time it should be an Order army.
Order
I think we
versus
should
Order?
have Order v Order. Yeah, let's start seeing the fraction between the Order. Anyway, why are we talking about 5th
5th
edition?
ed.
4th edition is not even out yet.
No other YouTube channel is talking about 5th ed.
That's true. We're getting ahead of the curve. Everyone, come back to this video in like 4.5 years' time and tell us how we were right.
Okay, so we move on. They show prayer off again. I'm going to go ahead and say I still don't know how prayers work.
Dude, we've done this. It's not hard.
Okay,
now.
so
Oh no, don't care. Not learning.
I don't care. I'm not going to even learn once it actually happens. Okay, so here we go. Now, I think I am starting to get how prayers work, because, correct me if I'm wrong, is this not the first prayer we've seen that's actually had a chanting value that's, like, reasonable? Most of them have been, like, high, like 6 and 7, and, like, there was one that was, like, the Stormcat...
Most of them have 2. Most of them have a baby value and then a big value, and the big value usually makes the thing pop off.
But-
I think this is the first one we've seen with just 1 and it's high.
And the baby value for, like, the Stormcast one was, like, 6, I think, right? And I think...
Yeah.
I think that's, and on 1 die, and I think that's why I haven't been understanding. I'm like, so are these just really freaking hard to cast? And I guess the answer is yes, sometimes, unless you wait.
You just cast them. You cast them over several turns. You don't cast them every turn. You charge up to them, and then so you'll get like 2 of these off a game.
Okay.
Is the style.
Or you can try every turn on a 4-up to cast this, right?
No,
Why not? It needs a 4,
because that's not.
right? Don't you roll a die and wait? Do I not get how prayers work, or does Steven not get?
Oh, the 4 at the top.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So you could try and get it off. But
Every-
if it's 10 or more, sorry, I didn't see the 4 in the top right.
Oh, so it does. This one does have a big value.
Yeah, this does
Okay.
have 2. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yes, by the way, Liam, thank you. Good to hear
Thanks,
from
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Liam.
Thank you for gifting memberships. We always appreciate the support. Thank you.
Go subscribe to Liam's channel.
Yeah, go subscribe to Liam Dempsey. That's the name
Friend
of the
of the
channel.
channel.
The name of the man, the name of the channel. Okay, this is good. And by the way, when I first read this and started seeing about getting a 5-up ward, I was like, uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
So, but this is a really cool and thematic prayer. I actually really like this prayer a lot. I pick a terrain feature within 18 inches, make the prayer, and then I put a blizzard token next to it. And if it has a blizzard token, it gains the obscuring terrain ability, which is super cool. That means you can't see through it, kind of like a force currently.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then Beastclaw Raider units within 3 inches of it have a ward of 5 up. So this
This is a great
this
spell.
is insane.
Prayer.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is really, really good.
yeah, this is crazy good. I think the move is probably going to be to charge it up in turn 1, and then maybe put it off on turn.
Well, I could see you because again, this is unlimited, so priests can do it multiple times. Like multiple priests can try it. I would have one priest doing this to make something obscure, like every turn, to
Yeah.
give me the cover to get my army up the board.
Yeah.
And then I'd have another one charging up
for safety.
so that when we get there, then it's got the 5-up ward, and then we're fighting around. I would try and get both effects going. Because
wow.
obscuring is really, really good.
Yeah, and
You don't
James,
want your ogres getting shot.
Saray, yeah.
Yeah, I think James is asking if the tokens last forever. It looks like it. It says the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh my god, yeah, that's really good.
Wowie wow. Super fun. I love this. This is right up my alley. I love this idea that they're messing with this, and I'm right out of the gate very curious if the one that the other sub faction will just have like a plus to cast this, or it'll do something better or something.
Yeah,
for them.
this is a really good spell.
Now this,
Like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. Now this is nice because I will say this. Otherwise, Beastclaw Raiders have lost their Everwinter hurting you ability, right? That they have currently. So this kind of brings in this ability that the lore that they're dealing with this blizzard that is like chasing them, and that they kind of use it to that's kind of trying to kill them, murder them, but also they use it to their advantage. So this is exciting.
Yep. Yeah, this is really good. I love how this works. I love that prayers are getting really juiced up in this edition, and that they're like these really powerful effects that you're not going to get off every turn, but you can build towards.
Yeah.
It also puts the target on priest back. Like, if you've got a priest who's at the back, like, chanting to start doing something wild, like, you're going to have to make sure they're not going to get alpha struck, because, like, killing a priest when they're trying to go for, like, a 12-plus cast, it's going to feel bad if you can kill them before they get that off, which is really fun. That's really, really fun, like, sort of play. I think that's going to be a lot of interest.
Okay, now, who we get here first...
Big Papa K.
Makes sense, because we were saying yesterday how Ogres are the only faction that doesn't have, like, a character, actually.
Well, hang on. I have a question about that.
Yeah.
This is a Centaur, man. Why is he not in Skaven, right? They're the new Beasts of Chaos.
They-
Why is Kragnos just not... Does he have the Skaven keyword? Can we scroll down? Does he just get it? Do they just make him like an honorary Skaven?
No.
Ridiculous. He's
Didn't
a
get it.
Skaven, clearly.
Sorry.
They're Beasts of Chaos
Sorry.
now.
For anyone who doesn't get that, we are asked a very interesting question when Beast of Chaos got ruined.
Well, it was actually
Kicked out of the game.
It was actually in War. It was actually in War. In YouTube or Facebook's Warcom's Facebook page where they where somebody was like, "Wait, Skaven are the new Beasts of Chaos?" And I was like, "What?"
I am a bit sad that this is like, I don't know. I know that he gets to be an all destruction, but I'm just like, you're a chaos man, and we all know you are. Stop pretending. Like, the Slan put you in a thing. They don't do that to beast men. They do it to chaos monsters. Like, you're a big chaos monster.
Yeah.
Just go back to your faction and let's get someone new. But all right,
Yeah.
I guess we're
This
stuck with
is-
him. What's he got?
Okay, so
He has a 4-up save now. That's why.
Oh, he has a 4-up save.
Yeah.
What? All right. Cool.
Used to the
Indrasta's
save.
got a new target. Indrasta
Oh my
alpha
God.
strikes this dude.
Indrasta's gonna
Oh my
nuke
god,
this
I can't
guy.
wait for Indrasta to kill this guy in one round of combat.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yandrasta is absolutely going to have to get nerfed. She is out of
No.
control.
I will hear none of this. Indrasta, she dominates 4th edition.
The more
all
we're
fine with
seeing,
it.
the more we're seeing monster sheets, the more I'm like quite confident Yandrasta is going to need to be adjusted a bit.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah,
gonna be like 700 points. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, it
maybe.
was crazy when we
Okay.
seen Andrasta's data sheet. We're like, wow, she's like really good even by 3rd edition standards. And now we're seeing like all the lethality.
Yeah, she's
and the
took a glow up,
durability
and
has come
every
down.
other monster's come down, and now the power is adjusted.
Kragnos has nightmares about Andrasta coming to his house and killing her.
As he should. As he should. Like, she should wreck him.
Yeah.
All right, now Control 15. That's pretty cool.
Wow, that's massive.
Now, I will say this about Kragnos. We've been saying that a lot of stats have been going away. That is not the case with Kragnos. He has pretty much retained all of his attacks, and the damage is pretty close to what it is right now. He's hitting it on 3s and 4s. He's wounding universally on 2s. Rend 1, 2, 3, all multi-damage. Decent number of attacks. He is going to. He looks like the hardest hitting thing we've seen, other than Yandrasta against monsters.
Wow, yeah, he is a freight train. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Now,
The only real change I see is that he's not hitting on 4s with his Tuskbreaker, but he does have crit 2 hits, so it's like kind of.
Well, okay, so does that? I was just saying in chat, but now I'm questioning it. Does that mean each crit is an additional 2 hits?
Yes.
yeah,
So each one is 3.
yes,
Yes.
What? That is awesome. Okay.
yeah.
I think that's the first time we've seen that, right?
Yeah, we're gonna see it again though, which is exciting.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
in a minute here.
All right. And he's
Okay.
got how many wounds did he have? Sorry, he's got 4 up with 18.
And a 5-up ward. And a 5-up ward.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he can do a lot of damage.
He can do a lot.
Also, Ren 3 base on the Dread Mace is pretty absurd.
On a weapon that does 4 damage.
Oh my god, it has 6 attacks.
Yeah. Now,
Wow.
keep in mind, so his abilities, he drops attacks on the Dread Mace, okay. He still has his Ignore Magic, now it's a 3-up. I think it was
Yeah.
a little different previously. I think he rolled 3d6 and had to beat
Yeah, it was different.
It was different. This is better, it's streamlined.
Oh, he just ignores all spells on 3-up now.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can't be auto-killed, he just takes 6 damage instead, and doesn't get wards against them.
I think we saw that on. Did we see that with Nagash as well? He has a similar rule. He can't be.
I think so.
killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is interesting. Rampage and Destruction. This has not changed for the most part. The crazy insane part where he tramples another monster has not changed. It's the same. Insanity, where you roll 2 dice, multiply them together, and as long as the result when you add the 2 dice together isn't a 7, you multiply the dice together and do that much mortal damage, right? So if you roll 2 and a 6, you do 12 mortals.
Oh my god.
He still
even
has
his other one. Each enemy unit within one.
Yeah.
2-up mortals based on the roll, like.
And I'm pretty sure this was D3 previously that he did to everyone. Now it looks like he does D6 to everyone.
So the ultimate monster killing machine is Yndrasta riding Kragnos into battle.
Yeah.
That is the quintessential I will kill any monster in existence.
Okay. James says it's unchanged. It was always D6. I don't think I've ever used... I think I've only ever used Kragnos again to charge a monster. I've only ever played him a handful of times. And he adds... Oh,
right.
Yeah. He still has his extra dice for destruction units wholly within 12 of him. To charge.
Add one to the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for friendly.
No longer a
Okay.
cute combo with Beast Claw Raiders though.
Yeah.
Or with any ogre, yeah.
He's very good though.
He's very good.
Very, very good.
He's very good. We'll have to see his points, but he I don't think. And listen, to be honest, who should deal more damage in combat than Kragnos? He's the god of destruction. Like.
Probably.
Yndrasta.
A bloodthirst. Yeah, Yndrasta, obviously. Maybe like Scarbrand or Karazai, the crazy red angry dragon. I could see him being an absolute.
Sure. But this guy is the god of destruction, right?
He is the end of empires.
He's the end of empires.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like an end of empires Warscroll. I'll be honest. Like, units will die to him for sure.
Unless Yndrasta gets to him.
Yeah, unless you take Yndrasta and then she's the silver bullet that just takes Kragnos out. The 5 ward though, with 18 wounds, that is Nurgle levels of resilient. Like,
yeah,
that is scary.
Yeah.
I'm really scared now what Nurgle are gonna be, because if this guy's got 18 wounds and a 5 ward, what the hell is a Great Unclean One gonna have?
Yeah.
Scary.
Okay. Then we get a Huskard on Stonehorn, so we get to see the Stonehorn.
So this isn't the big hero though, right? This isn't the
correct.
The Lord. This is the wizard priest guy.
The priest guy, yeah. Okay. A lot of side grades, a lot of changing things around here, but I think I'm into it for the most part.
I'm surprised they kept all of those weapon profiles, to be honest.
All of the weapon profiles are still here. They've changed a bit. They have gone from hitting on 4s and wounding on 3s to hitting on 4s, wounding on 2s. We see
Anti-monster +1 Ren though for the chain trap's pretty good.
Yep. Okay, let's look at the ranged weapons first. These ranged weapons are kind of interesting. I guess the chain trap is the new best option.
Really? You think so?
I don't know. I mean, the Vulture hits on 2, wounds on 3, but no Rend now.
Thank God. Oh my God. I never understood why the bird was like this absolute force of death. It's like a bird. That feels like a bird profile now.
Yeah.
Harpoon launcher lost 2 inches of range, but other than that, looks pretty similar.
Yeah, but 18 is a solid range, I think.
Yeah, still long range.
Yeah, 12 feels maybe too short, and it's only got the monster thing and the flat 3 is pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you're right, Zach. I think you're right. I think it maybe is the chain trap.
Here's the problem with the chain trap. No one's ever going to model the chain trap because one,
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
I know it
There is
doesn't.
no WYSIWYG. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want.
I'm definitely going to take chain trap, but the chain trap is a ogre like this with his hand outstretched away
Oh yeah, it looks super silly.
perpendicular from the stone horn, and then a chain that goes like another inch and a half out and just breaks
Yeah,
off
and
immediately.
then the man trap, right?
And then the trap, so it breaks immediately when you put it. Like,
Yeah.
you would have to get a custom, you know, case for that. That looks, yeah, it snaps off so easily. Okay, now we now get new ogre stats on. We have confirmation. We thought we got it from cities that ogres are going to be hitting on 4 and wounding on 2s like a monster, and that is the case. It looks like we see it up and down here. So 4 and 2,
which is really good. I think that's a really good upgrade. I think for ogres.
Keep in mind, right? We can always get +1 to hit. So yeah, it's not bad. I'm liking this stat line with an all-out attack or any other way to get +1 to hit.
They reduce the damage on the rock hard horns.
No, that's still it. It's 3, and then it's +1 if you make a
Oh, it's
charge.
+1 on the
charge.
charge.
A +1, an all-out attack. I don't think it affects companions.
No, I think it is.
It does affect them.
It's like weirdly the only thing that does.
Yeah,
so far.
they called it out. I was wrong because I said that. I think we were talking about Stormcast.
Oh,
but
okay.
No, they explicitly say all-out attack does affect the mounts, but what won't affect it is like
The
buffs
number of
to-
attacks, right?
Yeah, or like buffs to like the prayer. I think the prayer, the storm. They're gonna have to clarify this, by the way. This isn't clear, but like in the FAQ of like the prayer that gives everyone +1 attack, I don't think it applies to companions. I think it just applies to your weapons.
Nope.
But all-out attack is the only one they get, I think.
Actually, folks, we did look this up. And what?
How? Is the
So
rulebook out?
if you look at the companion rule, it's sort of weird, and there actually is a rule for the companion rule that it says it specifically something about the number of attacks or what it doesn't affect. I think like actually almost everything else might be affected by it. Like.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But we still need clarification. But it calls out like something about number of attacks. Kind of
Right.
interesting.
Okay. Interesting.
We can go back and look at, but it calls. Maybe somebody in chat has it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can continue.
So
right.
his horn attacks drop if he's got 10 or more wounds on him, down to 4. That's not bad.
But he keeps his control of 10, which is really good.
Control 10. Yeah. I think that's which is what they've got currently. Right.
I mean, what did Karazai have? Not Karazai. Krondis 5.
Krondis.
He was like control 5.
Yeah. I don't think he's 10.
So ogre monsters right off the bat are significantly better control because control is I think really hard to come by.
Control's good. This is
Most units only have like 2 or 3.
And
that's it.
Or monsters we're seeing with 5, like they currently have, basically, right?
Yeah.
So
the fact that you're 10 is really good.
All right, Stone Skeleton used to be a 5-up ward. I think this is a downgrade, but it's not an awful downgrade. Ignore the first damage point that would be allocated to them in each phase.
I think that's a side grade. Those effects are really powerful. I think people underestimate these.
Yeah, it's why I like it, Stephen, is because people. Well, see, a ward kind of does the same thing, but people are going to be coming after your Stonehorn in all kinds of phases, right? They're going to do magic on them. They're going to do shooting, and magic and shooting is often not that much damage to begin with. So.
Yep.
Yeah, keeping in mind you can, as James points out, you can still get the ward. You just need to pull off the magic, the prayer.
Yeah, and there might be an artifact that you can give a character that gives them the ward. So then you could have one of these with its passive and the ward, or there's the prayer. So I think you're gonna have ways to give these things ward. I think it's just not gonna be every single Stonehorn has a ward by default.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I'm not against.
I'm not against either. I think we're seeing wards disappear a little bit all over the place to begin with. I think it's another casualty of wanting to speed up the game and wanting to tone down the level. And I'm, like you said, I'm kind of okay with it.
They seem to be relegated now to heroes and like god level stuff, like
Or-
things that should have a ward save that feels right.
Or
Like, you know.
death, right? Or death armies are gonna have.
Or
it,
death, yeah. I mean, yeah, death.
Yeah.
Yeah, death having their 6-up, I feel like is.
It's a thing.
And I'm sure Nurgle will have it as a faction. Like, I
Yeah.
can't imagine a world where they take that from Nurgle.
Okay, here we go. This is their monstrous rampage, and I think it's pretty good. Keep in mind, everybody can Tokyo Drift now. So Tokyo Drift, still a thing a Stonehorn can do. It's just that everyone can Tokyo Drift now. Okay, so
Wait,
Not everyone.
What do you mean everyone can Tokyo Drift? What are you about?
Like
Overrun.
not cavalry. Is it We've seen it on the.
You have to.
Stormcast.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Oh my god, chariot.
No. There's a
Oh, power through.
power
yeah,
through.
yeah.
It's called. That's right. Power
It's a
through.
generic one now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has some caveats. That one of them is whatever you do has to have less wounds than you. I think.
Yeah, isn't it also a command point?
It is a command point.
You know, in short supply, so it doesn't feel as free as old school Tokyo Drift.
It's true. It's true. Okay, but here's their monstrous action instead. Their monstrous rampage, if you will, and I think it's pretty good. Okay, pick each friendly and enemy monster within the unit's combat range to be the targets. So all the monsters within 3 inches of this thing. And roll a die. On a 3+, if the target, roll a die for each target. And I guess you're going to roll for yourself as well. If the target is, if it's a friendly unit, the companion weapons get crit 2 hits for the rest of the...
Oh my
turn.
god.
All right, so that's pretty wild on rolling 6 dice for Stonehorn attacks. That's pretty good. Each 6 is going to be 3 hits. So on average, odds are that now if you attack with 6 horns, you're going to hit with 6 horns.
Well, I think what you are right, but I think we're reading that wrong. I think crit 2 hit means a hit turns into 2.
1 hit turns into 2.
I think the wording.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the wording is.
So,
I think always the crit says 2 hits, so it's like that's the new like exploding. Sixes,
got it. Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
So
sustained 1 if you're playing 40k. So
okay.
Yeah. But that's really powerful.
So that was the same. So Kragnos is the same then. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not okay. So that's pretty good. And then if it's an enemy unit, they get the Stonehorn dominates enemy monsters. I guess if the companion gets a -1 hit rolls for attacks. Little situational, but not bad. Certainly not bad.
Well, this is the scroll for the Huskar, right? So in theory, the one with the ogre like lord on could have a different monstrous action.
He could, which would be great because you'd have one of each, right? And they're all once per turn per army.
Yeah, I mean this is a super good scroll for the Huskar. This is really good. Like he is a slappy monster guy, and he's a priest.
Presumably, the Frost Lord will be similar, but will have a line for his spear, which is currently quite powerful. 4 attacks, 3 damage. Yeah.
No, but James brings up a good point though. Like monsters now mostly hit on 4s, so -1 to hit on a monster is actually pretty significant. Like
pretty obnoxious.
Putting a monster to 5s.
Pretty obnoxious.
That's gonna reduce a lot of damage.
Yeah. This is on a 3+. I think you're gonna probably see a lot of like pairs of Stonehorns going into things, which is a good idea anyway. You start to kind of, this doesn't feel that different from how I'm playing them currently, right? It's just some things are changed up. And then you kind of start to see a picture. If I charge 2 Stonehorns in, I'm doing 2d3 plus 2 mortal wounds right away, most likely. Okay. And then I'm fighting first, unless I don't have fight with one of them. And if even one of these goes off, I'll do this action, and I'll fight with the ogre who this went off on if it went off, right? So it's kind of it makes them, you put them in a pair. We'll see how many points a pair is. Right now, it can fit 4 in a list. So you put them in a pair, and you're starting to see like, oh yeah, these things are scary once again.
Yeah, this is a really good Warscroll.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about the army taking nerfs, but this still feels very, very powerful. Like, this would be a good scroll now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in 4th it's gonna be an exceptional scroll.
Okay, we get the Glutton Warscroll.
All right, the regular boys.
The regular boys. Here they are.
They consolidated the weapons down, right? So you just have
That's
glutton
nice,
weapons
yep.
now.
Yep.
Seems to be I don't know if it's really a nerf or more of a side grade, right? You get 4 attacks. You used to be hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, but now you're hitting on 4s, wounding on 2s, rend 1, 2 damage. Because it kind of evens out in the end.
Do they have rend currently, Saray? Do you have? I forget.
Yes.
Yeah.
They currently have rend 1.
Okay.
I think this is good.
Yeah. It seems solid.
Like wounding on 2s, pluses to wound is really hard to come by. I think it's going to get even rarer. So the fact that your default wound 2 plus, you give a big unit of these all out attack. Yeah.
Yeah. Solid.
Solid. The insatiable gluttony ability is kind of it's situationally going to be awesome, which is if they use that heal up ability that ogres now have, they control 3.
Yeah, it really feels like you're gonna have to really pick your turn for when to pop that effect, because it's gonna be a huge swing. You're gonna take more points, you're gonna do more damage, you're gonna heal a bunch of wounds. I think when you pop that is gonna become what separates the good from the bad when it comes to ogre players, of like learning how to master that ability and when to use it for maximum efficiency.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, the way, Steven, you and I have talked about this, and the way I tend to sort of play ogres, with my list at least, is I largely avoid my opponent for 2 turns, and then I go all in. And I think that is how ogres work, is that they can hit really hard, but they actually don't have the greatest staying power.
Yeah.
It's in sort of an interesting way that they don't disappear like elves, like Deepkin. Like, oh, the game's over. But they fall apart slowly over a turn or 2. And so I think it makes sense. I like it. I can kind of dance around, score my points for 2 turns, go in, fight, get a hit back, then heal, and then try to stick around a little longer. So I'm kind of into it. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like this. I like this new approach to them, and I think that profile for the base guy. If that's the base guy, and then everything is going to be an upgrade from there, like I think that's really solid. I think you could build an army around gluttons now. Like 4 health is a lot to chew through. I think.
Yeah.
4 of these, if the unit sizes stay the same, 4 of these.
Yeah.
That's all the 16 wounds that you got to get through, and yeah, their saves 5+, which whatever, but get them near a terrain piece. They got a 5-up ward.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, these guys.
Well, no, these guys wouldn't get that.
Why?
That only works for Beastclaw Raiders. You have to have the Beastclaw Raider keyword. These guys have the gut.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, these guys have the Gutbuster keyword.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. But who knows? I think there's probably going to be more out there for them, of course, right?
They say they do have a champion, musician, and standard, but those don't have rules on the scroll. Have they standardized those to do the same thing for everyone now?
So I forget. Maybe someone in chat knows. They come in 6s. That's right.
Oh,
6s.
4s
okay. Is.
Yes, it's the little one. It's the elite guys that are 4s,
the elite guys and the gunners. Yeah. So yes, I can't recall. Maybe somebody knows what a standard does. I think what a musician does, or I might have these backwards. One of them is when you use the rally ability, instead of rolling 6 dice and each 4 up, you roll 7 dice and each 4 up.
Okay, so yeah, champions is +1 attack, musician is extra dice on rally, standard is +1 control.
Yeah.
So these guys have got they've got 18, 19 control, but the article's wrong. I guess. Yeah. Oh, it says any of modifiers. So your banner gives you 19 control from a unit. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
They're gonna hold points, which I think is probably what they're designed to do, is sit on points and be meaty boys that don't give it up.
Right.
Yeah, they're solid.
Okay. The Gorger mawpack. This is the new unit. This is the Warcry band. Is made up of emaciated horrors. Here we go.
Oh yeah, these are the always hungry boys.
Yeah.
I love these new models. I hope these guys are good, because these new models are great.
They're cool.
So yeah, it looks like they went from 3 to 5 attacks.
Nice.
They used to hit on 3s, they're now hitting on 4s, but they also used to wound on 3s, now wounding on 2s. They were rend 1, they're still rend 1, still 2 damage, but now they have that anti-infantry +1 rend. Seems pretty
Ooh,
good.
that is good. Yeah, these guys will mess up him. How many wounds and stuff have they got? Can you scroll up a bit, Zach? So they got
5.
1 extra health, but 1 less save.
No, they were 5 wounds before.
He means,
Oh, okay, right.
Or you mean compared to a Gore?
I'm comparing him to the gluttons, yeah. Oh, and they can be set up. They've got like sneaky deployment as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one ability they did lose is they used to have an ability that messed with receiving commands. It looks like they don't have that anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, now everyone can just give themselves commands and receive commands. There is no like command stuff anymore. It's all gone.
Yeah. And these guys, somebody in chat, units of 5, I think, on these guys. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think 5
Right.
5 come in the box.
Dude, 5 of these, like, deep striking is terrifying. These will mess up a backline.
It's kind of a lot. Their deep strike is 9 inches of a battlefield edge. It's not anywhere on the board, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's 9 inches from the back of your opponent's deployment. Seems pretty solid.
Yeah, these guys look scary. They look fun.
Yeah, this is a good unit. They also have a champion and a musician.
They have a musician. Okay.
I mean, what kind of music does he play?
I know.
I don't know.
Must be a singer.
I mean, yeah. So should be interesting. Yeah. Okay.
They definitely feel like they fill a different role to the gluttons, which is nice. Like I could see you taking both of those units in a list.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, the word from the studio. Nothing too like mind blowing here, in my opinion. They talk about kind of like higher than usual. Health is higher than usual, and they can heal up. We'll see. I'm curious if that heal, like, is that heal really going to help this army stick around? Like, I don't know.
I think it will. I think like healing the big units up, like everything's got multiple wounds, right? So healing those units up and dealing mortal wounds, so it's like a double swing. I think it will be significant. Again, if you use it in the most optimal turn, right? The turn that really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get, like you say, if you spend 2 turns positioning, getting your buffs up, doing the whatever, and then you slam in your whole army turn 3, and then the end of turn 3 you pop that ability. Yeah, I think that is gonna swing things pretty substantially.
We get a little bit of the Spearhead peak, and as we know, we tend to just kind of look at the Warscroll. They give us lead belchers here. I think it's probably likely that lead belchers are gonna retain this Warscroll. I don't know if they'll retain this.
Yeah, we've heard the stats are always the same as the abilities are the same. Shift, right?
Yeah, the gun continues to look. Is it an increase in range actually though? Or they fit? They
no, I think it's short.
No, it's a decrease.
Oh, really? 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good though, like unit of these, like does a lot of damage, a lot of shots.
We'll see. There's a faction dedicated to shooting at point blank range apparently. So we'll see.
Oh no.
What
that sounds scary.
It sounds like it could go bad, right?
Yeah. Maybe this is the addition artillery will be good and get good war scrolls.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And
I would like the giant stupid catapult for Bone Reapers to be good.
That would be amazing.
It's massive. It's huge.
It should just be at least okay. You know what they could do to make that thing good is just give it some good control. Even just give it like control. Yeah. Give it control 10.
Yeah.
Just like
control 10 would be nice.
Yeah.
Also, an attack for every one of those tiny little legs that it has would be amazing.
They're not going to give
it.
Like Hey Steven, they're not going to give it control 10. It's going to be control 2.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is.
Yeah.
But if I have 60 attacks with all the little legs, I'll be
okay.
Like, okay, that's fine. I'll take it.
Tomorrow is Flesh Eater Courts, which is fun.
Right.
That'll be interesting because they only just came out, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that absolutely nothing will have changed.
I've been thinking that for a while. I've been thinking as we're starting to kind of see what armies get, and you look at the Flesh Eater Courts book, I think it was very much designed with 4th Ed in mind.
I think so too. Although saying that though, Cities was also very recent, and that had a significant series of changes, right?
Yes, but I personally, as we know, Nostradamus here. Personally,
Yeah.
I did not believe that Cities was designed with third in mind. It had 11 sub-factions. That is,
I guess, yeah. I mean,
that is
it was
wild.
just. I think it was meant to come out like a year earlier than it did, right? I think
Maybe.
it
Seems like
yeah.
that, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys... You guys aren't the Ogre players here so much, but what do you guys think?
Okay, I felt like going in, I was kind of like, oh man, this doesn't look so good.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end, they seem not as bad as I thought. They have some stuff that seems like pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, yes, we haven't seen all the scrolls. Yes, we have no idea what the points are. We don't know any of the other sub-factions or the artifacts or spells. But, like, I think looking at the stats, I like the 2s to wound across the board. I think it's going to make the Ogres feel very punchy.
Yeah.
I still think, I think, the more we think about it, yes, the nerf to the charging is a thing, but I think it will be more consistent. I think it will encourage more of an MSU style play, which I think will be fun. Because I think that's how Ogres kind of should look on the tabletop, is like little packs of Ogres sort of wandering around doing.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of excited about... The reason I run Mournfangs in packs of 4 is they do mortals on 5s instead of 6s.
Yeah.
Now they just do 1d3 plus 1. I'll probably do a bunch of little packs of 2 Mournfangs. Kind of fun.
And the monsters looked sick. Like, the Stonehorn, it lost its ward, fine, that is a nerf. But, like, that scroll was awesome. And I think... And Kragnos is nuts. Like, I think you start now looking based on points, being like, okay, I start with Kragnos and build from there because he is a wrecking ball.
The only problem that Ogres have kind of currently, even outside of Beastclaw Raiders, is that these are actually pretty good units, and that in wounds and in damage output, so they're expensive, right? And Kragnos kind of has that problem with Ogres, where you take Kragnos and you take like 3 other units and you're done. And you're okay, well, maybe this is cool. Whereas you put him in another...
That would make you a 1-drop thoh, right? If you could put that in one... Like, you take him, he's your War Master, and then you put everything else in his battalion, you've got a 1-drop. Like, you might be the 1-drop army of the edition, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like Kragnos and his Huskard boys, bang, there we go.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah, I'm. It looks exciting. We'll have to see. So, any other thoughts on Ogres, gentlemen?
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I think the new Feast on Flesh rule, like, again, I think we're seeing this where, I can't remember which one we were looking at, where it's like the rules tell you to do 2 different play styles. I can't remember who it was. There was a scroll where there was 2 abilities that basically competed.
Oh, right. It was the Annihilators.
Yeah.
Yes, it was, right. Yeah, just such a weird scroll. But, like, I feel like Feast on Flesh and then the Beast Handlers and the big monsters are kind of pulling you in different directions. Because your Feast on Flesh ability, if your army is only 5 models, is not going to feel that impactful. But if you've got a horde of Ogres that are all in combat, multiple units against one enemy unit, I think Feast on Flesh is gonna feel huge as an effect. So again, it's like it's kind of pulling you in those 2 different directions of how do you want to build the army? Do you want small elite, big stompy monsters, or do you want a horde of ogre guys?
Boys. I have to tell you though, Steven, I kind of agree with you, but the last year or so, I've been taking 2, Ogres have their own heal spell, which is heal D3. And then I've been taking heal on my Frost Lord, making him a priest and taking heal. And then between those heals and the Maul Pot, I do have to say that healing has kind of become I feel like I've been using it a lot, and it is problematic for my opponent. When you take these units with high wounds, and you can't really chip through them all in one turn, and then you go back up even a little bit. I also think Feast on Flesh is... I mean, keep in mind, this is to your point as well, right? But the nice thing about Feast on Flesh is that it is also D3 mortals at the end of a turn. So after you've done your charge, you've done your mortals, you've fought, you've had your one big turn where you set it up, you do your charges, you do all your damage, then you're doing a little bit more damage even at the end before... So it's kind of interesting. I'm liking the trend of us seeing a lot of armies get a once per battle ability.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that it's just there's a one roll and you get 2 effects, and you just do both based on that one roll.
Yep.
Again, smoothing out things, cleaning up. So I have a question for you though, ogre player that you are. Based on what you've seen, what endless spell manifestation lore do you think you'd take? Because they don't have their own, so you get to just choose one. What do you think you'd be taking? Would you go for the Healy Emerald Swarmy stuff, or would you go more for offensive spells for mortals?
I'm almost sure I'm going to find anything that can either heal me or give me. I don't need help with damage. I feel like, and that's kind of how I approach ogres currently. I want help with as much defensive things as possible. So anything that can help me heal, if something even gives me a 6 ward, I'll take it. Anything I can find that's going to do something like that is what I'd be looking for.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to say bye to Steven and Cire. Tomorrow's Flesh Eater Courts. Bye, Steven. Bye, Cire. Tomorrow, Flesh Eater Courts. I won't be here, but we will still be having a show. We think pretty sure, almost 100% most likely. We'll post it up. We'll figure that out a few minutes after this. And I think that's it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll also be back. Keep in mind, we have a game this Saturday. We know Third Ed is on its way out, but there's still a little bit of fun to be had. This Saturday is Flesh Eater Courts versus Seraphon. So tune in for that Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you. Bye.